Welcome to Canada Immigration Matters, your one-stop destination for navigating the complexities of the Canadian immigration system. In this follow-up video, we will dive deep into the Labor Market Impact Assessment, LMIA. What is it? The different types, and the step-by-step process to apply. Whether you're an employer looking to hire a foreign worker or a prospective immigrant seeking to understand the requirements, this video will provide you with the essential information you need. Let's get started. What is an LMIA? Let's start by understanding what an LMIA is and its purpose. LMIA stands for Labor Market Impact Assessment, and it's a document issued by Employment and Social Development Canada, ESDC, that assesses the impact of hiring a foreign national in Canada. The main purpose of an LMIA is to determine whether there is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident available to fill the position the employer is looking to hire a foreign worker for. If the LMIA process concludes that there are no Canadians or permanent residents available, then the LMIA will be considered positive, which allows the employer to hire a foreign worker. There are three types of LMIAs: positive LMIA, negative LMIA, and LMIA exempt. Let us start with positive LMIA. This indicates that there is no Canadian citizen or permanent resident available to fill the position, and the employer can hire a foreign worker. Next is negative LMIA. This means that the position should be filled by a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, and the employer cannot hire a foreign worker for that role. There is LMIA exempt. Certain types of jobs are exempt from the LMIA requirement, meaning the employer can hire a foreign worker without obtaining an LMIA. Okay, let us talk about understanding a positive, negative, or LMIA exempt outcome. Once your LMIA application has been processed, you'll receive one of three possible outcomes from ESDC. Positive LMIA. This means that ESDC has determined that there is no Canadian citizen or permanent resident available to fill the position you're looking to hire for. With a positive LMIA, the employer can proceed to support the foreign worker's work permit application. A positive LMIA is sometimes referred to as a confirmation letter, as it confirms that the employer can hire a foreign worker. Negative LMIA. This means that ESDC has determined that the position should be filled by a Canadian citizen or permanent resident. If you receive a negative LMIA, the employer cannot hire the foreign worker for that specific role. In this case, the employer may need to consider alternative options, such as hiring a Canadian citizen or permanent resident or exploring other immigration pathways. LMIA exempt. In some cases, the position may be exempt from the LMIA requirement. This means that the employer can hire the foreign worker without needing to obtain an LMIA. Understanding the potential outcomes of the LMIA process is crucial, as it will determine the next steps for the employer and the foreign worker. A positive LMIA allows the employer to support the foreign worker's work permit application, while a negative LMIA means the employer cannot hire the foreign worker for that particular role. In the case of an LMIA exempt outcome, the employer can proceed with hiring the foreign worker without the need to go through the LMIA process, which can save time and resources. Let us talk about employer expenses for getting an LMIA approval. Obtaining an LMIA can be a costly process for employers. The main expenses include application fees. There is a fee to submit the LMIA application, which is currently set at $1,000. Another is advertising costs. Employers are required to advertise the position for a certain period and through specific channels. The costs associated with these advertisements can vary. Employers are required to advertise the position for a minimum of 4 weeks and through specific channels, such as national job boards, newspapers, or professional associations. The costs associated with these advertisements can vary, but they typically range from $500 to $2,000, depending on the advertising methods used. There could be possible legal fees if you are not able to do it on your own. Many employers choose to work with immigration lawyers or consultants to assist with the LMIA application process, which can incur additional legal fees. These fees can range from $1,000 to $5,000 or more, depending on the complexity of the case and the level of legal support required. Let us move to business eligibility. In addition to the costs associated with obtaining an LMIA, employers must also meet certain eligibility requirements for their business. One of the key requirements is that the business must have been in operation for at least 1 year. This means that employers who are just starting their business or have been in operation for less than a year may not be eligible to apply for an LMIA. The rationale behind this requirement is to ensure that the employer has a stable and established business that can support the hiring of a foreign worker. Employers may also need to demonstrate that they have the financial resources to support the foreign worker's employment, as well as comply with various labor and employment laws in Canada. What is the required documentation to determine business eligibility? As mentioned earlier, one of the key requirements for obtaining an LMIA is that the employer's business must have been in operation for at least 1 year. This minimum business age requirement is in place to ensure that the employer has a stable and established business that can support the hiring of a foreign worker. To establish your company's eligibility, you'll need to provide documentation that demonstrates the length of time your business has been operating. This could include things like business registration or incorporation documents, financial statements or tax returns from the past year, proof of business premises, such as a lease or ownership documents, and licenses or permits required to operate your business. Additionally, you'll need to show that your business has the financial resources to support the foreign worker's employment. This may involve providing information about your company's revenue, assets, and overall financial health. Let us talk about the required documentation for the LMIA application process. In addition to the documentation required to establish your business eligibility, there are several other documents that you'll need to provide as part of the LMIA application process. These include a completed LMIA application form, a detailed job description for the position you're looking to fill, including the job duties, qualifications, and salary range, proof of your recruitment efforts, such as copies of job postings and advertisements, information about the foreign worker you're looking to hire, including their resume, qualifications, and work experience. You will also show proof of your company's compliance with labor and employment laws, such as payroll records and workplace policies. You will provide other supporting documents that may be specific to your industry or the position you're hiring for, such as licensing or certification requirements. Tips for preparing a strong application. When it comes to preparing your LMIA application, there are a few key tips to keep in mind. 1. Provide detailed and accurate information. Make sure that all the information you provide in your application is complete, accurate, and aligns with the job requirements and your company's needs. 2. Demonstrate your recruitment efforts. Provide clear and comprehensive evidence of your recruitment efforts, including copies of job postings, advertisements, and a summary of the candidates you've considered. 3. Highlight the foreign worker's qualifications. Demonstrate how the foreign worker's skills, experience, and qualifications make them the best candidate for the position. 4. Ensure compliance with labor and employment laws. Provide documentation that shows your company is in full compliance with all relevant labor and employment regulations. Now, we look at the LMIA application process. The LMIA application process can be complex, but let's go through the steps involved in more detail. The first step is to assess whether the position you're looking to fill requires an LMIA or if it's exempt. This will depend on factors such as the specific job duties, the location of the job, and the worker's immigration status. Step 2. Prepare the required documentation. This includes the completed application form, job description, evidence of your recruitment efforts, information about the foreign worker, and proof of your company's compliance with labor laws. Step 3. Submit the LMIA application. Once you have all the required documentation in order, you can submit the LMIA application to ESDC. This can be done either online or by mail, depending on the specific requirements. Step 4. Wait for the LMIA assessment. ESDC will then review your application and supporting documents to determine whether to issue a positive, negative, or LMIA exempt decision. This assessment process can take several weeks to several months, depending on the complexity of the application and the current processing times. Step 5. Receive the LMIA outcome. If the LMIA is approved, positive, you can then support the foreign worker's work permit application. If it's denied, negative, you'll need to consider alternative options, such as hiring a Canadian citizen or permanent resident or exploring other immigration pathways. It's important to understand that the LMIA application process can be quite complex, and the specific requirements can vary depending on the province or territory where the job is located. Throughout the process, it's important to stay informed about any changes to the LMIA requirements or processing times, as these can vary over time. Seeking guidance from an immigration professional can help ensure that your application is prepared and submitted correctly. What is the average processing time for LMIA applications? The processing times for LMIA applications can vary quite a bit, but generally, you can expect the following. Positive LMIA takes about 2 to 6 months on average. A negative LMIA may take about 2 to 4 months on average. LMIA exempt could take about 2 to 4 weeks on average to process. It's important to keep in mind that these are just general estimates, and the actual processing time for your application may be shorter or longer depending on a variety of factors, such as the complexity of the case, the current workload at ESDC, and any changes to the LMIA program. Similarly, if there are sudden changes to the LMIA program, such as the recent announcement that the validity period will be returning to the pre-pandemic standard of 6 months, this can also impact the processing times as the government adjusts to the new requirements. Understanding the average processing times can help you plan and prepare for the LMIA application process, ensuring that you're able to hire the right foreign worker on time. Throughout the video, we have highlighted the importance of seeking professional guidance from immigration experts. If you're looking for assistance with your Canada immigration application, be sure to reach out to Chugo Immigration Services. Our team of experienced immigration professionals can help you navigate the LMIA process and ensure your application is submitted correctly. If you found this video useful, please share it, like it, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.